Yo, what is going on, everybody? This is Fanadian here. I'd like to welcome you all to another video. And today I'm going to be breaking down the Miami Dolphins salary cap situation because there are quite a few free agent rumors floating around. I've seen some Duke Johnson rumors out there now. And how much salary cap we have available does affect who the Dolphins team can sign. As you can see here, we are on overthecap.com, and they are saying the Dolphins currently have $8,715,632 in cap space. This does put us about in the middle for cap space of all the teams here. Like obviously we don't have as much as a team like the Jags, the Broncos, but we are doing a lot better than teams like the Saints and the Falcons right now, who are currently struggling because of the cap crunch that did happen. So 8 million is not too much. It's not bad. The only thing with this 8 million number is the Dolphins haven't signed all of their rookies yet, right? So if we look at MiamiDolphins.com, you could see unsigned draft picks, and these draft picks are higher drafted picks, right? Jalen Phillips was a first round pick, Javon Holland and Eichenberg were both second rounders, and then Hunter Long was a third round pick. So in order to sign all four of these players, it's probably going to cost the Miami Dolphins around $6 million in cap space, which means once they're done signing these four players, the team's only going to have about $2 million in cap space, which is not really enough to sign any free agents because you want to leave a couple million as a buffer just in case players get injured and you need to bring in someone to replace them, right? So, for example, Matt Skura is kind of like the only true center on the roster. So if something was to happen to him and he was to go down with a season-ending injury, we might have to see the team spend $1 to $2 million to bring in someone to come in and replace him. So if the Dolphins are to try and sign some more players like Malik Hooker or Melvin Ingram, they're probably going to have to either cut or restructure a few players' contracts here. This is also why it doesn't really make any sense for the team to go and, let's say, make a giant trade for someone like Aaron Rodgers because they'd have to pay him like over twice as much as what they're paying Tua right now, and it would kind of cripple the team a little bit. It also is why we probably won't see them make any big trades for someone like Julio Jones just because they won't be able to afford it unless they make some kind of crazy deal where the team trading the big name player to the Dolphins, agrees to pay most of that player's salary cap for exchange of a draft pick or something like that. So let's just look here at the cuts. As you can see, dead money and cap savings. This is the amount of dead money the team would have if they cut that player post June 1st, and this is how much they would save. So if you go through here, essentially what you're looking is for numbers here that are low, numbers here that are high. These two players, though, Emmanuel Ogba and Benedict McKinney, are a bit of an exception, as I don't see either of these players getting cut, especially because we just signed Benardrick. But if we keep going through the list here, I'd say Eric Rowe is also another one that we wouldn't cut. Some people were saying maybe Albert Wilson, but I think Albert Wilson is pretty safe because he did restructure his entire contract with the team after he opted out, and I think like 2.8 million for a wide receiver that has the upside of Albert Wilson, like it's totally worth paying. But that's also why I feel like his current, I guess you could say opt-out buddy Alan Hearns might end up getting cut because it is 1.6 the dead cap. They can save 1.2 million dollars, and Hearns is kind of on the outlier of being like probably like the seventh, like the number seven wide receiver on the roster, and the other guys kind of in that range, like Mac Hollins, are making less money and also are very elite special teams players, which is why they have a role on their team. But this is also why you might see a lot of people right now saying that the team should cut Jakeem Grant because if you cut Grant, that's only 600,000 in dead cap. You save $4 million by doing so. A lot of people say it because he didn't do very good as a wide receiver. He is an elite punt returner, but $4 million for someone that's mainly just going to be returning punts and getting involved on plays is like not how much you want to be paying that player, especially with guys like Robert Foster that they signed this offseason for veteran min that could fill this role. They also have a bunch of guys in the secondary like Noah Igbenogany, Brandon Jones, and Javon Holland, the new rookie, who all have kick returning experience. Also Malcolm Perry. So that's why you always see Jakeem Grant's name getting brought up when players are cutting about people are talking about potential cuts. Jesse Davis is another guy here. Now that they brought in DJ Fluker and we've got a bunch of young guys, maybe they decide 3.5 million is too much for a backup guy, even though, he does provide a bit of a veteran role. He is that veteran presence on the offensive line. Other than that, there isn't any too much like big contracts that the team has. There is Clayton Fedulum here. Obviously, $0 in dead cap. They would save 2,478,000. If they do decide, to sign another safety or one of these practice squad guys steps up, that might be the end for Fedulum here. Uh, Especially because we don't know how many safeties they're going to bring into this year, right? Because we did draft one, Javon Holland. We signed Jason McCourty. We have Eric Rowe and Brandon Jones. I think they did bring five safeties on the roster last year, so we'll have to see how many the team keeps. And then other than that, there really isn't any other players I see getting cut for financial reasons. The only other guys would probably be players on this top 51 cutoff that eventually get released as we get closer to the season and the team tries to, get down to that 53 player mark. But if a bunch of these players do get cut, like at the bottom of the list there, they would probably get brought back to be practice squad players. So let's look at a restructure because this is the other way the team can get a lot of cap space. You saw the Buffalo Bills just did this with Stephon Diggs. They were able to get an additional $77 million in cap space. So if we look here, obviously the player that would make the most sense is Byron Jones, right? $9 million. This would be enough for if they wanted to sign both Melvin Ingram, Malik Hooker, and Le'Veon Bell, all the free agents I talked about in my free agent rumor video. Xavier Howard would be interesting because it's 8 million and there were rumors that he did want a new contract, so I could maybe see Chris Greer being like, "Yo, if we restructure your contract, you get 8 million this year, we'll rework your contract, so maybe down the road we'll give you some more guaranteed money, and then both sides kind of win." Devontae 5 million, this would make sense, and then obviously Benardrick McKinney. There were some rumors when the team did trade for Benardrick that they were going to restructure his contract, but in his interview with the press, he said, the team didn't talk to him about that. So we'll see if that does end up happening or not. And then other than that, there aren't really any other big contracts where the team would save a lot of money if they were to do a restructure. So if it was to happen, I think it would most likely be one of the corners on the team. And like I said, this is why if the Dolphins are going to be bringing in any more free agents, it's more likely going to be like dudes on veteran min contracts or smaller depth signings. Like if they were to do like a Duke Johnson, there were some people talking about the possibility of the Dolphins do want to maybe get one more running back to come in here and compete. And yeah, that's pretty much the team's current cap situation. As you could see, like I said at the start, 8 million. It's a bit of a lie. uh, we'll see, if they do sign any more players, if they do any restructures or cut any more guys as we get closer to training camp, which is approaching pretty fast. Like I'm having a hard time believing it's already June. Uh, and yeah, so thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like the video if you liked it. Subscribe if you want to see more Dolphins content. And until then, see you in the next video.